Hi everyone, this is Frank. Welcome to my wood shop. It's been a while since I've started really working to finish the wood shop up. I've got a lot of different cabinets to make. As you can see behind me, these are some of the top cabinets that I made. I still have a few more top cabinets to kind of fill in that bank. But next project is to get the base cabinets done. I want to go along this whole entire wall here with cabinets that will actually be a common top and a common fence for a radial arm saw and my chop saw. Yes, I said radial arm saw. I have a DeWalt, actually it's a Delta radial arm saw. It's a 12-inch. I've had it for a while, and you know, most people don't have radial arm saws anymore because they can be dangerous if you don't use them properly. I'm not willing to give up this radial arm saw, so I'm going to build it into my long set of cabinets and probably use that mainly for dados, large dados. So anyway, I'm going to start working on this build. I'm not going to go through the details of building the cabinets because you've seen my videos on cabinets, and there are tons of other woodworkers out there and hobbyists on YouTube that can show you how to build a cabinet. What I will do is I kind of go through a series of videos kind of showing you the update as I go along, and so that way you can kind of follow along with me. And probably at the end of that, when I get those cabinets done, I'll do a shop tour. So in the meantime, let me kind of cover what I'm going to first initially do. So the very first cabinet I need to make, which is basically the foundation for the rest of the cabinets along this base, is to get this cabinet built for the radial arm saw. And you know, the difficult part of figuring out the math is, okay, how tall do I want this cabinet to be that this is going to sit on, and how deep is it? That's going to be predictive to the depth of all my cabinets. So I've done a lot of measuring, a lot of thinking, and came up with, I am actually going to build a cabinet that this will sit on. I need to raise this thing up, take these legs off, and place it onto the cabinet. So this cabinet is going to be a little bit different. It's not just going to be a carcass of plywood. I'm going to build a 2x4 frame to withstand the weight of this radial arm saw. I believe it weighs around 250, 300 pounds. It's quite heavy. So I'm going to build that frame first, put then I'll cover it with plywood on the sides and the back and the front and the top, and then set this frame, this Delta frame, on top of that cabinet, and that's going to be the first foundation that will set precedence for all the rest of the cabinet's depth and height. So this is the first cabinet I've got to do, and then the next cabinet will be for the chop saw, making sure that the chop saw and the radial arm saw heights are identical. Once I have that established, the rest of the cabinets get to be pretty easy. So this is the wall that these cabinets are going to go along. As you can see, it's a pretty nice long, I think it's the 40-foot dimension of my shop. So this is where it's going to start. The chop saw will end up going in this location. The radial arm saw will go in this location, and the chop saw will go in this location. Once I have the cabinets established and I can swing the chop saw left and right as well as the radial arm, then I'll fill in these voids with some smaller thin cabinets. I think it'll look a lot nicer. Okay, so first thing is to go and build the cabinet for the radial arm saw. Well, this is kind of a crude frame because I'm using up all of my 2x4s that I have, bits and pieces, so I don't waste any money or time running out to get 2x4. So I basically built the frame in 2x4s. I used pocket holes on most of the joining pieces, and did some side screws on other pieces. It's all glued as well. I've already attached the floor levelers, and also put in a spacer block, as you can see there, so I can have a shelf on the very bottom. So those are done, and then I just completed rabbiting the back, as you can see. I cut out the corners. That is to, let me get my zoom here working. There we go. That's to take a 1/4 inch backing. I don't want any sawdust coming from the back of this saw, even though I'll create a catch for it with my shop collection system. But you know how sawdust is; it can get everywhere, and I don't want it coming in through the back of this cabinet and getting into the shelves. So let me go ahead and stand this thing upright. And there we go. And that's it. There's the back. Here's the floor levelers. And so now I got to go and cut a piece of 1/4 inch plywood for the back, and then I'll cut the plywood for the shelf in the bottom here, and then I'll cut the two sides and attach them as well as the top, and this cabinet will pretty much be done to be able to lift up that radial arm saw and get it onto that cabinet. So let's continue. Well, the cabinet is done. Again, I used up 2x4s that I had in my storage and some MDF. I put an MDF shelf on the bottom instead of plywood. I'm just trying to use up scrap pieces that I have, because you're really not going to see any of this once I put the rest of the cabinets down the way. But yeah, that bad boy was heavy. We got her on top of the cabinet and bolted down from the inside. So we've got a bolt in the corner back here, and then I drilled a hole and put 2 in the front as well. So that way it's attached to the cabinet. And this thing is ready. What I like about it, it pivots from here. The old ones used to pivot from the back arm. So with this thing pivoting here, I have all kinds of room with the cabinets that I can do a 45 at either way, and I won't be in the way with any of the cabinets. So that's nice. So this is the first cabinet. This was the tough one to get figured out in height, and so that I can have the same height for all the rest of the cabinets. And I'm a tall person, so I like it a little taller, which is nice. I don't have to bend over to look to see the cut. So that's the first one done. Well, that's it. Like I said, that's my first cabinet for this wall. So stay tuned for additional videos as I continue to build out this wall of cabinets. The next cabinet we're going to be doing is going to be for the chop saw station, and that's going to be critical to make sure that that lines up with the exact same height as this radial arm saw. So stay tuned for additional videos. This will be a series of several different videos. Instead of making one long one like I usually do, I'll upload each of the kind of a step-by-step as the cabinet build gets completed. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my videos, please do. You'll get notifications when additional videos come up. Thank you so much for visiting my shop. And this is Frank, Frank's Wood Designs. Have a great day.